Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with My Hero Academia. You know what? Hang on. Oh, I bet that sounds great on the microphone. Hold up. Sorry. Hold up. Sorry. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had Temp Squad, where the Hasaikai used who the hell? Twice and Toga to attack the heroes. I don't know why I'm so committed to this now. I'm trying to get his arm, because I realized, like, I've had his arm up for so long. Like, I need to change it. But now I don't think I can. So, great. So, Toga and Twice were sent in to attack the heroes. And then they were like, But then they were, I guess, so Shigaraki wanted them to infiltrate and take them out from the inside, and I think they're about to team up with the heroes to try to okay, screw it, to take out some of the Hasaikai members. And now that I've wasted everyone's time, you know how to find the reaction. It's in the description and the pinned comment. Let's get started on this episode. What a great intro this was. Oh. Oh boy, oh boy. What a fight, man. What a fight. Even without his power, he still goes and fights. Because that's what a hero does. Okay. Well, let's jump into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is permanent. They have developed a permanent cure, basically, for quirks, which is interesting. Which, yeah, you know, we kind of said, like, oh, man, this is really turning into X-Men 3 over here, and sure enough, this really is, like, it's the mutant cure, the quirk cure. But I like in this, it's being developed by bad guys, you know? Like, that makes it a bit more interesting, you know? So, yeah, you know, he says, you know, you are infected, and I'm going to cure every last one of you with Ares' power. So, yeah, I mean, that's just it. He's going to wipe out quirks, basically. He's going to end them. And it's basically, it's kind of like All for One, except he's not keeping the quirks for himself. Oh, man, oh, man. And we did get confirmation that Eri is not his daughter, specifically. So we can only assume that he just found this girl and kidnapped her because she had the quirk that he needed. Which, that's the thing, is that, they do it well, because they do make you think that she is actually his daughter, especially because she has such a similar... Well, she has a similar quirk, you know? In theory. Like, hers, basically, can disable or now destroy quirks, whereas he can disassemble, you know, anything and reform them, you know? His power is very interesting, you know? It kind of reminds me, honestly, of Wolfram in the movie, you know, because he was also an interesting villain. You know, he was different from the, you know, just, he was a really strong guy, you know, All for One. He's just got his giant arm, or muscular. He's just this really big guy, or Nomu, or anything. Like, Wolfram was so interesting because it's like, yeah, this guy is super powerful, but he's like Magneto. And so how do we beat Magneto? And Overhaul is kind of like that, where it's like, okay, you know, here's how he's, you know, manipulating the environment around him. But also, he, you know, if he gets a touch on you, you will be gone. Like, it's such an interesting power, just the disassembling and reassembling, you know? So, I really do like it. So yeah. We did get a bit of a flashback with when Toga and Twice entered the Hasaikai. And we did get that one guy who could, bring out the confessions. And that did give us more info on Twice and Toga. So Twice, the reason he had all those things was specifically because he needs measurements. So if he's attacking someone, which we saw kind of at the back at the training camp, he basically quickly measures someone while he's attacking so that he can clone, basically. Although I think he also just used those for weapons, so that was interesting. And we also got Toga, because we've gotten stuff about her quirk before, but we now know the amount of blood she takes gives her just a longer time. And she said I think she said 1 cup of blood gives her about a day transformed, which is interesting. And we did get the confirmation, which some of you guys had told me this, but we got the confirmation that because she can copy clothes, they basically layer over the clothes she already wears. So that's why she, more often than not, she gets naked, because that way she's not wearing, just so many layers of clothes, basically. So that was interesting. And then it was also interesting that they basically, so, okay, it wasn't exactly a team up, but it was kind of basically helping the hero. So basically, Shigaraki's plan was to help the heroes take down the Hasaikai, which is interesting. So yeah. So sending in Twice and Toga and helping the heroes basically defeat Mimic, and then they escaped. So it's an interesting way of doing that, basically, just making sure that the heroes are able to defeat the Hasaikai. Not quite the alliance of convenience we thought it might be, but it's still, pretty interesting. And then we got the guy who could make you confess to everything, which is interesting. Again, it's an interesting power, and having him on the front line is okay, well, that's not really what you would expect from a fighter, someone in the fight, but okay. But I also liked the one guy who had the sloshed effect, Sakaki, which I assume Sakaki might be a pun on Saki, although I've heard the name before, on different anime. I think one of the Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists has that as a last name, Yuya Sakaki, but they say Sakaki, not Sakaki. But anyway, of course, yeah, they say Sakaki, like you would say Saitama or Jotaro, but you wouldn't say Mikasa like that. You say Mikasa, apparently, in the Japanese, which I know that's talking about 8 other shows, but I just wanted to put that out there because it pisses me off. It makes no sense, basically. Anyway, that's for anyone who watches my Attack on Titan reactions. Anyway, Mikasa just sounds right, but that's not the point. The point is My Hero Academia. But yeah, but that was interesting, and I like that it's okay, so he's, his quirk is affecting Lemillion, but then it really isn't that much of a hindrance on him because he's used to so much worse because of his own quirk. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. And then, yeah, we got Lemillion versus Overhaul, which was just pretty crazy. And, yeah, again, for this guy, he's still a student, even if he's a senior at UA, a third year, he's still a student, and he is beaten all of them, He's given Overhaul a run for his money. Overhaul, who beat Rappa 5 times in a row. Now, granted, maybe Rappa didn't change up his strategy, but that's honestly it. That's how good Mirio is, He is so good, and he has such control over his quirk because he's worked at it for so long, that I like when he does a kick and it goes through Eri, and just as it gets out of Eri, it becomes solid again to kick that guy. The amount of precision that takes is so incredible, but I really like that. Oh, man. I like the whole thing of, capes, because that's the old meme of The Incredibles, no capes, But I like the use of capes there. It's it wasn't just to hide so that, they wouldn't be able to shoot him. But also he says heroes wear capes to comfort people in need. And, that stayed wrapped around Eri. Like, aw, that's so sweet, I really like that. But yeah, so that was just, oh my god. That was just such an incredible fight, Okay. And then we got, how do you hit a guy who is untouchable? And yeah, you go for his feelings. Because yeah, if you shoot Eri, I mean, for one thing, if she got shot, first of all, she would lose her quirk, but most likely she would die. That's still a bullet wound, and a bullet wound on a little girl is probably really bad. So, but that's exactly what he knew. So, shooting at her would force Lemillion to block the bullet, Oh, man. And unfortunately, he can't do it like the Mandalorian. He can't just, he doesn't have Beskar in order to block it. No, he got hit. And so, if we're to believe that this is a permanent thing, Lemillion has lost his quirk. As quickly as he came into the show, he has now lost his quirk. Which, goodness, that is insane. So, he's lost his quirk, but he kept fighting. Oh, I really do love that. He kept fighting because that's what a hero does, And I love those flashbacks of, like, his dad and stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's a very difficult quirk, but that's why I gave up on being a pro. And it's like, oh, if you really want to do this, then I'll support you. And that's the thing. It's not that he wants to be a hero just, like, oh, I am a hero. It's like, no, he is a hero because he is a hero. That's the thing. And he will keep fighting. Even without his quirk, he will keep fighting. And he is that damn good that he can still keep up with Overhaul even after losing his quirk. So that is incredible. But yeah, I mean, he is beaten down. It's not quite as good because yes, he is obviously getting beaten down. He got stabbed a couple times. But he is still standing, and he will stand to his last breath in order to save Eri, which is amazing. Because I was also thinking, at the beginning of this, like, oh, you're not her hero and stuff. It's like, well, Deku is. She made a connection with Deku, And when she thinks back on that day, she thinks back to Deku. It's like, no one was ever this kind to me, And so when Lemillion shows up, it's like, oh, here's a hero. But she honestly doesn't have that connection because, like, this is the guy that left. This is the guy, like, and granted, yes, she did run back to Overhaul, but she probably thinks this is the guy that left, didn't fight, where the other guy wanted to. Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe she doesn't quite think that, but she definitely at least has that connection with Deku. But Lemillion is still fighting with everything he has, And though he may be injured and he may be quirkless now, he's not out of the fight. And now he has backup in the form of Izuku Midoriya, Deku, which stands to reason, though, that if Deku is there, that must mean that Night Eye and Aizawa are there. And if Aizawa is there, the fight's over, If Aizawa is there, the fight is over because he can eliminate all of their quirks and they can take them down, So that's the thing. If Aizawa is there, the fight is kind of over, but we'll have to see, definitely. And I will be interested to see if this is going to be another arm-breaking moment. Because, I mean, Lemillion's powerful. But Overhaul is so powerful that if it was just Deku there, then I might be sitting here like, oh, he's going to have to bust his arms again. And he can't really do that too many more times. They said like 2 or 3 more times, and that's it. So if he busts his arm again, he's that much closer to losing his arms. So, but if Night Eye and Aizawa are there, then he may not have to break his arms. So we'll have to see. But yeah, it's definitely, it's going to go down. It already went down, but it's going to go down again in the next episode. What a great episode. I just love any time these heroes get to be heroes, you know? It's just so incredible. So, yeah. That is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of My Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.